If you were able to finish the challenge, did you program it differently than me? If you had trouble with the challenge, I'd recommend you try again. Go back to the previous video and launch the workspace. See if you can make the changes to get to the final result. Let me show you how I programmed this challenge. First, I'll go to the flickr.js file. This is the one that we programmed earlier in this stage. I'm going to get rid of all this button stuff. We have a form now, and the buttons are gone. So I can get rid of this button programming, and I can get rid of the button selection. I'm going to replace that with form, and I'm going to change the event from click to submit. Forms don't have a click event. They have a submit event. That's when the user presses the submit button. I also add a parameter here, which I'm going to name EVT, short for event. jQuery passes every event handler a special object called an event object. It contains information about the event and provides special methods that affect how the event works. We're interested in one particular method, prevent default. This method stops a web browser's normal response to an event. With a form, when you hit the submit button, the browser normally exits the current web page, sends the form data to the server, and retrieves a new web page. Well, we're using AJAX, so we don't want to leave the page. That's what this method does. Next, I'll create a variable here named $search. In it, I store a jQuery selection. In this case, I'm specifying the form field. As you can see here in the HTML, the text field that the visitor will use to type his or her Flickr search term into has the ID of search. That's why I'm using this $search. That will select that text field. It's common practice to store jQuery selections in a variable, especially if you want to use that selection more than once. By storing the jQuery selection in a variable, you don't need to rerun all the jQuery code each time you wish to use that selection. It's more efficient. You run it once and you store it in a variable. Next, we need to retrieve what the visitor typed into the search field. We'll store that in the animals variable. That's the same variable we used before to capture the text in the button that the visitor clicked. Here we're capturing the text that the user types into the text field. That's going to be our search term, and that's part of our Flickr options that go as part of our get JSON request. All the rest of the code's the same, so let's check it out. I can type in lions, and voila! Photos of lions. Giraffe, and so on. How can we improve this? Well, because AJAX doesn't happen instantly, it might take a few seconds for the browser to contact Flickr and retrieve a response. It would be a good idea to provide some clue to visitors that their search is in progress and that they need to wait. What we could do is disable this text field, and we could even add a message to the submit button. Let's go back to the flickr.js file. I'm going to create another variable, and this one's going to hold the submit button. I'm going to disable the search field, and what this does is make it so that you can't type new text into the text field. I'm going to disable the submit button too, and we'll change its value. I'll print a message searching so that as our AJAX request is happening, a user will get a message that lets them know that the search is underway. All right, let's check it out. Looks good. Of course, we need to re-enable these form elements after we finish loading the photos so users can make another search. Well, we can do that by adding some programming into the AJAX callback. I'll just need to do the opposite of what I did to disable the fields. First, I'll re-enable the search field. Then re-enable the submit button and change its value back. All right, let's save this and see how it works. Great. Do you have any other ideas on how to improve this? How about removing the old photos as you perform a new search? Another idea is to print a message if no photos are returned. For example, you could say, no photos were found, or even better, no photos were found matching the search term, and then list the search term that the user typed in. Now that would be cool. Good luck and have fun.